What's going on, everybody? Let me turn the music down. Can you guys hear me okay? Once again, I don't have a microphone stand, so I don't really know the correct settings or distance that I need to have this shit at. But welcome, guys. Topic of conversation tonight is Star Wars Outlaws. I haven't been paying attention to much news. I don't know any recent info. I did watch a behind the scenes video that they released like a week ago or so. And I, kind of filled me in with a little more recent information, and I don't know if there's any more beyond that has been announced. I know that a bunch of YouTubers and stuff like that went out to kind of check out the game. I haven't watched any of their videos if they've uploaded videos. The past month or two I've been kind of living under a rock, doing my own thing while my daughter is on summer break. So, but what I have seen, it looks like exactly what I've been wanting for years. For literally for the entirety of this channel's existence, whenever anybody asks me what type of Star Wars game I would want, I always answer with like an open world Red Dead Redemption style Star Wars game. Is Outlaws going to be as, I don't know, in depth and have the same scale and scope? Who knows? But everything that we've seen, the gameplay that we've seen, all the behind the scenes footage, all this, the tiny little details that go into this stuff. It looks like it's going to be pretty fantastic. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Is there anything that I should know that I've missed? But yeah, anyway, welcome, guys. Good to see you all. I haven't really been doing anything with the channel for the past couple months. My daughter's on summer break. I work all the time, so while she's on summer break, I'm not going to work on videos, just because I'm going to hang out with her. So I'm going to kick this thing back into gear probably in the next few weeks. I'm working on a video currently, like when I'm at the firehouse. I've kind of been typing up a little script. Beyond that, I don't have any other plans. So, with the channel at least. But yeah. Anyway, welcome, guys. Good to see you, Stuart. Dank Meme Master, Catherine Alvarez, Captain Kilroy, Leonard, Leaves. Welcome, guys. Leonard says, I just watched the movie Fanboys, which is endlessly hilarious. To me, it's like Star Wars fan version of the Goonies. Yes, I remember seeing it when it first came out. I instantly loved it. As soon as it came available on Blu-ray, I bought it. It's just it's one of those movies, man, that I used to, if I was doing stuff around the house, like laundry or, I don't know, just cleaning, sweeping, whatever I was doing. That's one of those movies that I would just throw on to have, some background noise. Walk by the TV screen, look at a scene or two. There's a handful of movies that I've done that with, and Fanboys is certainly one of them. But yeah, it's a fun one for sure. If you guys haven't seen Fanboys, Google it. There's a lot of familiar faces that are very popular now. The movie was released in 2008? Is that correct? 2008? Fanboys. Let's see. Fanboys. 2009. And if you're a Star Wars fan, I think you'll enjoy it. You get a kick out of it. But yeah. It's about Star Wars fans. For Star Wars fans. It takes place before The Phantom Menace comes out. I think you'll get a kick out of it. But anyway. Looks cool. Multiple planets, each about the size of one or two regions in a game like Assassin's Creed, with different factions. Some decisions. Looks cool. Yeah, I can't wait. That's one of the things that I'm so excited to see, the scale and scope of the game world, or worlds, as I should say. But, I was thinking about it. Something that yes, open world, that's important, that's fun, that's an instant buzzword that gets me looking at a specific game. But I think the most important thing for an open world game, this giant game, is the tiny little details. Because without tiny little details, your open world can feel kind of void. And what I mean by tiny little details, like super specific stuff, like best example is like on Tatooine, right? These people live in a desert, right? So what do? They farm moisture. Okay? That's just a small little fun detail that, kind of paints a broad picture of the life of this planet, how these people live, the day-to-day. The tiny little details like that really breathe life into, a fictional world. And forgive me because I can't remember the name of the planet, but the wind planet that they announced in the game, it's similar. It's very similar. Like they're basing the entire world and the way these characters live in that world off of their environment. Like we all do. We're all basically creatures of our environment. Wherever you live on the planet, you adapt to those conditions, and that adaptation, is a detail in an open world game that is so important, especially a Star Wars game. But yeah. Like on that planet that they showed, there's a city that's built underneath a rock formation that was carved out by eons of wind erosion. I love that. So the citizens, of this planet decided to build basically their city underneath this thing within the rock face pretty much, maybe to avoid some wind gusts, maybe to have protection from the elements. It makes complete sense. It's like a yeah, duh kind of thing, but certain creators might not even think of those minor nuances and details. I don't know. I love that kind of stuff. What's up, Vince? Good to see you, man. I feel like it's been forever. What have you been up to? One of our cats had to have like major surgery a couple days ago. That's basically, and I've been working a lot. My daughter's on summer break. That's why you haven't seen me recently. Daughter's on summer break, so I'm not really doing anything with the channel. I think this is only my second stream in a month and a half, maybe longer. Nice. Vince says, visited family over the weekend, and my cousin is like, dude, you haven't seen Extraction? Oh, Extraction. We ended up drinking whiskey and watching Extraction 1 and 2 back to back. That's the movie with, I'm not going to Google it. I'm going to think of his name. Is it Chris Hemsworth? Is it? There was a guy at work telling me about that movie. It is Chris Hemsworth. Okay. Yeah, a guy at work was telling me about those movies. I never even heard of them until maybe a month ago. And he said I should check him out. She's doing good. The cat's doing good. She had... Yeah, I'll give you a little rundown. A couple days ago, we were downstairs and we saw spots of blood. I know what blood looks like. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. This was blood, and it was a trail of blood. Not like streaks, but something dripping, dot, 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 And I thought maybe one of us, I don't know, cut our feet. Nope, that wasn't it. Walked into the bedroom. In our closet, there's a little kitty bed, and that one of the cats likes to lay on it, and there's blood in that. And we're like, what the hell? Maybe she got her claw stuck on something and ripped it out, and she's bleeding everywhere, right? But no, it was fine. I picked her up, which she doesn't like to be picked up, which if she did, this would have been noticed. This went unnoticed for God knows how long. But like, since she doesn't get picked up, we never saw this. She usually just likes to jump on our laps or our chest. You know what I mean? If we pick her up, she kind of freaks out, so we don't really pick her up. But she had this, I don't know, like a quarter size. I'm not going to call it an abscess, but the doctor sent it off for testing because she was like, I want to know what this is. But it was like a hole, like a quarter size ruptured abscess that maybe healed itself, and then another growth came on top of it, and then that ruptured. And it was just like this giant mound of a quarter size hole with like super hard tissue around it. You could take your hand and literally like all 5 of your fingers, grab it and move it around. It was like a hard thing, open pus, goopy, and it stunk. And she ate fine. She never acted like anything was wrong. We're like, oh shit. So we took her to the vet and they did surgery the next day. So she's kind of out of it. We're giving her some medication, but she's good. She's good. She's got like a little cone. If you go follow my Twitter, you'll see a picture of her wearing her little soft cone, which she has been able to get out of, and gets her arm stuck in sometimes. So we got to keep an eye on her. But yeah. All of her blood work came back, but came back fine. We'll see what it is. Anyway, that's what's going on right now with me. I appreciate that, Alicia. Do you ever watch Seinfeld? If so, who is your favorite character? 80s kid from the 90s. Dude, yeah, I grew up on Seinfeld. Me and my parents would watch Seinfeld. For a long time there, I don't know, maybe like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, every time me and my wife sat down to eat dinner, we would turn Seinfeld on. Yeah, it's in my opinion, it's the best sitcom of all time. Maybe a close second being The Office. The Office is just an easier watch. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, Seinfeld is hard to beat, man. Like in the battle between Seinfeld and the show Friends, whenever anybody says that Friends is funnier, I'm like, what? We're just two different people, man. We're two very different people. Because in my opinion, Seinfeld is 1,000, 1,000,000, 1,000,000,000,000 times funnier than Friends. I mean, I watched that too growing up, but I don't think it holds a candle to Seinfeld. I'd be curious if anybody in the chat disagrees with me. It's all good. Sorry to hear that, Vince. Yeah, that really sucks. We have 3 cats. We had 2, but then my wife's mom passed away, so we took her cat in. And then we have 3. So my wife's mom's cat is 17 years old. One of our cats is 17 years old, and the one that had surgery is 13 years old. So we got a bunch of old cats. Can't believe the other 2 are 17. It's crazy. My wife's mom's cat, she acts 17. She definitely acts it. We think she's going crazy. But the one that we've had basically together for 17 years, dude, he still plays. He's still bouncing off the walls. He acts like he's super young. It's crazy. I mean, other than like, he doesn't really like walking upstairs just because I think, he's old. But other than that, man. Vince, thank you so much for the first super chat and channel support of the stream. Not only of the stream, but probably over of the past couple months. I appreciate that, dude. I appreciate the channel support despite not doing much with the channel these days. That's going to change soon. My daughter's going to be back in school, so I have plans to, kickstart some videos and get back to streaming and stuff like that. But, anyway, one sec. Let me take a sip of water. It's super. I haven't had like any water today, which is very rare for me. Especially a day before work. Like whenever the day before I work, I always just pound a ton of water. Not good to go to my work dehydrated. Anyway, Vince, thank you once again, man. It's good to see you. Vince says, watch Jaws, and I love the lady in the back during the town hall, like 24 hours. That's like 3 weeks. Different things stand out each time you watch a movie. Video Archives podcast is good. I love that line too. One of my favorite deliveries is what? With the fisherman on the dock. One thing that I've always liked, and it's kind of like a little mystery, and I think there was the deleted scene of it that shows this character more, but Quint has like some kind of helper at that meeting, the town hall meeting. He leaves with a dude who, I don't know if he's just his right-hand man or a helper on his boat or something like that. I've always been curious about that character. But yeah, I love that about, even Jaws. I watch it every year around the 4th of July. And despite watching it, God knows how many times, you always pick up on new things, new favorite quotes. I ordered a Jaws print and hung it up behind me in my office wall. It's somebody painted the scene where they're all they're drinking and they're telling their stories, their scar stories and stuff like that, and they're singing their songs. And I have that scene as a painting behind me. It's kind of cool. But I've tried to give the Video Archives podcast a chance. That's the Tarantino one, right? I've listened to maybe 2 episodes. I enjoy it. I love their discussions. I just like hearing Tarantino talk about movies. But my problem is... my problem is my own problem is that the movies that they're talking about, I don't know if I've seen any of the ones that they've talked about. And I would love to have the time to watch those movies and then hear them talk about it. But I don't. And that's one of the reasons that I've kind of I don't know, haven't listened to much of that podcast, is just because for me, so many of the movies that they're talking about are obscure, and most of them I've never even heard of, Yeah. Other than that, it's great. I wish they would talk about things that exactly, Vince. My problem is I don't know what movie they're talking about. Exactly. I wish from time to time they would just talk about bullshit that we all know, Not some obscure movies from the 70s that probably weren't obscure back in the day, but, that's just how it goes. There's probably so many movies that we've watched these days, and when we were kids, that kids nowadays have no idea what they are, That I know that's true. I work with a lot of younger guys. I wish they would talk about Jaws, of course, Vince. I work with a lot of guys, and I'm oftentimes older than my officers at my work. And And then I work with guys that are like 19, 20, 21 years old. And a great example of what I just mentioned is the other day we were watching... What were we watching? We were... Shit, what came on before Apollo 13? It was... it's going to bother me. There was a movie... It wasn't Back to the Future. We watched something, and then afterwards, the guy had never seen it, but he knew what it was called. Shit, what was the movie that we watched? But anyway, I mentioned, I was like, yeah, like, do you know what Billy Madison is? And he had never heard of it. And I was like, okay, this is, I feel that different generation, obviously, that's probably a movie that no kid is ever going to watch in the future. I mean, I'm sure, some parent's going to show their kid Goofy Billy Madison. But yeah. Anyway. Alf, I kind of remember Alf, and I kind of don't. I don't know if I ever sat down and watched like a full episode when I was a kid.
A favorite character of mine is Ben Gardner. I love his ramblings. I wonder if he and Quint ever shot the shit and drank whatever that clear liquor Quint tried to kill Brody with was.
Vince, thank you so much once again for the channel support. Oh shit, Alicia Green, thank you so much as well. I didn't hear the notification. Alicia, I don't see a super chat message on there, so I don't know if you meant to send a super chat message. But if you did and you forgot or it didn't go through, I'm going to keep an eye on the chat if you have a question or anything like that. But I greatly appreciate that silent support and that viewership. Yeah, thank you so much for the channel support this evening. Cheers. And I once again, if you have a question or want to talk about anything, I'll keep an eye on the chat. I know sometimes the thing can be a little confusing, and I think people click like send before typing a message or something like that in there, and shit happens. But I'll keep an eye out. I appreciate it nonetheless. Vince, thank you so much again. Vince says, a favorite character of mine is Ben Gardner. I love his ramblings. I wonder if he and Quint ever shot the shit and drank whatever that clear liquor Quint tried to kill Brody with was. Yes, I'm trying to think of when, he's on the front of his little fishing vessel, and he's like, what does he say? What does he say? I can hear him say it, but I can't think of what he's saying. Ben Gardner quotes. Let's see. When we get them silly bastards down in the rock pile, it'll be some fun. They'll wish their fathers had never met their mothers. When they start taking their bottoms out and slamming into the rocks, boy, get away from there, you goddamn fool, you. What's the matter with you? You want to swamp us, you crazy son of a bitch? Ben Gardner. He feels like a real... Like, I know dudes like that. I know dudes like that, right? Just like, they are just a stream of conscious and most of it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? He feels like he was plucked off I don't know, just the corner of a one traffic light town and thrown into the movie. That's the best way to put it, Vince. He reads all of that like it was one word, as if it was one word. That's a great way to put it, for sure. I wish their fathers never met their mothers. I need to watch that scene. Just all the boats going out there, all trying to get that money. I love that movie. It's funny, like, every station that I've worked at, Vince, I've met somebody. Like, I was at a station for a long time, and we got a rookie, and the rookie, we were talking, and, you know, you're with somebody for 24 hours, you just start bullshitting, you talk, you know, what are you into, what are you into, what are you into? He's really into movies, and his favorite movie of all time is Jaws, and I was like, fuck yeah, me and this guy are gonna click, and we did, and we would just quote Jaws all the time. You know, whenever people would give him shit, or you know, basically when anybody would give him shit or make fun of him, or, you know, as you do with a rookie, and I don't really believe in it, but hey, he would always say, I can't take this abuse much longer, like Richard Dreyfuss, you know. So yeah, Jaws, man, Jaws makes friendships for sure. It's the best movie of all time, damn it. Alicia says, no problem. Chat didn't go through for some reason. Did you play / like the original Battlefront games? Some of my favorite Star Wars memories. Yeah, so my relationship with the original Battlefront games, I owned both of them. I played them. But when they came out, I was like addicted to Counter-Strike and a game called Ultima Online. So when those games came out, and it wasn't just Battlefront, the two Battlefront games, it was basically any game that came out at that time. You know, I might have bought it, I might have owned it, I might have played it a little bit, but I would quickly revert back to playing Counter-Strike and Ultima Online. So yeah, I couldn't tell you how many hours I put into the original Battlefronts. I know I played them, but I don't have the same like nostalgic love for those games that a lot of, probably yourself included, that a lot of people have. So, and I get it. They're super fun, massive games, easily moddable, host your own servers, great communities. But for whatever reason, you know, Counter-Strike and Ultima Online really held my attention and really honestly prevented me from playing and putting a lot of time into a lot of other video games that were probably awesome, you know. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that channel support. Cheers. What's up, Mr. Saint Jake? Good to see you, man. How you been? No, I have not seen The Fabelmans yet. Leonard, I was a doodler in school. I was a doodler, man. I used to draw all the time on everything. A little assignment. Oh, let me tell you a little funny story. Little funny story here. I mean no offense. It's just the innocence of a kid who knows no better. Right? I don't know how old I was. Oh, nice. Mr. St. Jake, thank you so much for the extremely generous super chat and channel support this evening, man. Mr. St. Jake says, beer fund. Cheers. That will come in handy because we do have a fun trip coming up next week. Next week, we're actually going to Disney. We're going to Hollywood Studios. We actually have reservations for Oga's Cantina for me, my wife, and my daughter. And then we're going to park hop to Epcot. So that beer fund, I greatly appreciate it, man. You just bought me a round of What is that drink called from the cantina that I like so much? What is that called? What is that called? Jet Juice. You just bought me a round of Jet Juice at Oga's Cantina, my friend. I greatly appreciate that, man. Cheers. Hope you're doing well. Oh, yeah, I doodled that S. I don't know where that S came from. I don't know where that S came from. I feel like I watched a video on the history of that S recently, within the past couple of years. Did it come from Stussy, that brand? I don't know. I can't remember what the conclusion of the video was, but that S, man. But anyway, cheers. Beer fund or Jet Juice fund. I greatly appreciate it, man. I have got to get down there. Cheers. Yeah, how far is Disney away from you? I might when I'm down at Hollywood Studios, I might take a picture of my shirt, and I might say, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. The S, is that what you mean? No, the S is you have 3 lines at the top and 3 lines at the bottom. And then there's a specific way you connect them to make like a rad fucking looking S, man. I don't know what you call it, but I've always that S, you know. It's funny. That was just a universal, ubiquitous thing. In the United States, at least, like everybody I've ever known, if you show them that, they're like, oh yeah, I remember that thing. Everybody used to doodle it. But oh yeah, let me get back to that story real quick. So this was probably so I don't know if I was in middle school yet. Nope, I definitely wasn't. I was in elementary school. I can picture the house that I lived in. So I might have been in first or second grade. So this is me, first or second grade, little innocent kid, liked Indiana Jones, watched all the movies constantly, big fan, right? So I was turning in a homework assignment. I was working on my homework one night, and the doodler that I am, I decided to draw a little Indiana Jones scene at the top of my paper. So I drew, some soldiers, I drew Indiana Jones, and I drew some big trucks. And I had finished my homework, so it was all completed, and I was just doodling at the top. I don't know, maybe I wanted to show my teacher that I was an incredible artist. I don't know why I did this all the time. But I drew an Indiana Jones scene. And on the side of the big trucks that I drew a swastika. Again, I'm in first or second grade. I don't know shit about shit. I just like Indiana Jones. And those were the fucking asshole bad guys, right? Those were the bad guys. And that was their symbol. A first and second grader didn't know shit about shit. So, like, my mom asks me if I'm done with my homework. And she takes a look at it. And she's like, what? What is this? You can't. And she had to explain it to me. I had no idea. So we did our best attempt at erasing and drawing over it. And blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, looking back on it, it's a funny little story of the innocence of a child who doesn't know the history of this stuff, But that's a firm memory that I have. I wonder if my mom remembers that. I'll have to ask her next time I see her. Yeah. Kennesaw area. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Kennesaw. Let's see. Let's map that out. That's not bad. Almost 7 hours. That's not bad. Make a good trip out of that. Hell yeah, man. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's not a bad drive at all. We go up to, we make that drive every year. I usually make that drive twice a year. Not Kennesaw, but like Ellijay area, Ellijay, Blairsville, stuff like that. I usually do it twice a year. Me and my wife and my kid. We've been taking cabin trips every year, and we go around that area. It's about that same distance, a little longer, I think. And then I do a similar trip with my buddies, and we rent a cabin basically every single year in the same area. So it's not a bad drive at all. Yeah, man, you should plan it out. Plan it out far in advance. That way you can secure a Oga's Cantina spot. You know. Apparently, even if you don't have a reservation, you can get your name on a wait list, and I don't think many people have a problem getting in. But yeah, make a little. You could just make a weekend out of it, you know. Friday after work. Friday after work, drive down there, stay at the park all Saturday, and then go home on Sunday, or make a longer trip out of it, you know. But yeah. But oh, nice, yeah. How far is that from you? Kennesaw to Ellijay, Georgia. If that's where you're going. Oh, an hour? That's nothing, man. That's nothing. Shit, I drive an hour to work. That's nothing. An hour to go to a cabin? Hell yeah. Do it. Is that where you're staying? I love it up there, man. I love it up there. I don't know if you've been to Helen, Georgia. Like, Helen, Georgia. I've been to Helen, Georgia in October, and that's fun because it's like a big party and, you know, Oktoberfest, blah, blah, blah. But, like, Helen, Georgia on the off season, it's kind of depressing. It's, I don't know. It's like that nobody's there. It's just a bunch of like shitty t-shirt shops that do like airbrush art. And I don't know. There's a couple good restaurants. Like there's a really good German restaurant that is actually owned by German natives. But for the most part, like, I don't know, just kind of a gimmicky little town. I mean, it's fun at certain times, but yeah. Anyway, Vince and Caretaker Wanted, thank you guys so much. Vince says, gonna go cook tacos and watch a movie. Probably gonna watch Strange Days. Never seen it. Anyway, take it easy, guys. Tacos sound good. You know what we did for dinner tonight? We did breakfast for dinner. That's one of my favorite dinners ever. Whenever we do breakfast for dinner, we maybe do it once a month or so. But what is Strange Days? Yeah, we did breakfast for dinner. I made my daughter some chocolate chip pancakes, some bacon, some egg. After I fry bacon in a skillet, I cook the eggs in bacon fat. It's not healthy, but I'm going to burn it off tomorrow. You know, it's delicious. Eggs, bacon. I made hash browns. I like making hash browns myself, like actually taking a russet potato and what are they called? Like a shredder, like a cheese grater, you know, and shredding your own hash browns, soaking them in water to get the starches out, and then drying them off, and then pan frying it in oil. I love making my own, you know, bunch of seasoning, and I love making my own hash browns. But like, yeah, breakfast for dinner, man. I put bacon, eggs, hash browns, and cheese into a big tortilla, a bunch of Cholula hot sauce in there. It's a good time. Yep, box shredder. Thank you. Yep. But anyway, cheers, Vince. Take it easy, man. I don't think I've ever heard of Strange Days. It does not ring a bell. Ray Fiennes, Tom Sizemore, Angela Bassett, Juliette Lewis. Huh. It does not ring a bell at all. I'll have to check that out. Anyway. Caretaker Wanted, good to see you, man. Let me take a quick sip of the water here. Caretaker says, was playing Dark Forces for the first time until I got to the diarrhea level. That level made me motion sick and I haven't touched it in a few weeks, LOL. It's the worst level in any video game ever. And now you know why I always call it the diarrhea water slide, right? Anote City. It is, for those of you who have not played Dark Forces, it's a fun game. It was like one of the first FPSs ever, really. I mean, right behind Doom and Duke Nukem and Hex, or maybe Hexen came after, I don't know. Wolfenstein. Dark Forces was in that mix, and it was a Star Wars first-person shooter, and it was great and it's fun. I love revisiting it from time to time. But there is a level in that game that is absolute dog shit. It is kind of a puzzle level, but it's one of those kind of levels where you don't really know what to do. You don't know what to do. You keep retracing your steps, and it's a bunch of moving water, like a sewage system. And if you get in one of the tunnels, you have to ride this water slide basically for 5 minutes until you come back out of the front. And yeah, exactly. How do you say that? Vecaro? He or she says, I don't know how I beat Anote City as a kid. I am completely with you. I mean, I know I did because I remember beating the game back then. I remember all the levels, but that level was just such... I hated it. I hated it because, I could never remember how to beat it. I could never remember how to, progress. Make progress in the level, and I never knew where to put the levers. I never knew what I needed to do. You just waste so much time trying to figure out what to do, you know? Yeah. Vacaro. Thank you. I won't forget it. Vacaro. I like that. Does that come from something? Vacaro. That's cool. Is that your... I don't mean to poke and prod. Is that your real name? That'd be a fun name to use in like an MMO or something like that. Vacaro. But yeah, Caretaker. I don't remember how to beat it. Every time I load the game up and get to that level, I have amnesia, and I completely forget how to make progress in the level. Yeah. The ultimate troll level indeed. Spanish for cowboy. Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. Here I'm thinking of using it in some Dungeons and Dragons RPG, and it's the Spanish word for cowboy. I'm a big dummy. I guess Lucas used the word Vader, which means father, right? I think, yeah, right. Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Caretaker. Yeah, fuck that level, right? Kevin George, thank you so much for the channel support as well. Let me take a quick sip. I'm quite thirsty tonight. That was not a water sip. That was a sip of gin. Kevin says, my friend went out with an E2 Hawkeye pilot. When he asked her about UAP, she apparently got quiet. Wouldn't talk about it. You ever see anything? No, I never have. I'm a huge skeptic when it comes to all of this. I want it to be real. So there's no doubt in my mind with the scale. Look, like I'm looking on one wall in my office, I have a giant poster of the first James Webb Space Telescope deep field image. And I'm looking at, I don't know, 10,000 galaxies in one image, you know? There's no doubt in my mind that with the scale and scope of the universe, the hundreds of billions or trillions of galaxies, each with hundreds of billions or trillions of stars, there's no doubt in my mind that there is life elsewhere beyond Earth. No doubt in my mind. The problem with all the UAP stuff is that the evidence is so goddamn flimsy. All the video evidence that you see, for the most part, like if you Google whatever video's out, you know, and topical right now, and then debunking, there's people that are debunking it. One of the best out there, if you're curious, because I'm a firm believer that it's important to, yes, if you're into that stuff, if you're paying attention to that stuff, if you're a believer, great. But you also have to look at the debunking side. One of the first things that I do if a topic comes up, I Google the topic and then debunking. Because a lot of the times, you know, there's people out there that are calling bullshit and they are able to prove that things are bullshit. I'm not saying it's all bullshit, but the evidence out there, to me, and maybe I'm overly skeptical, it's super flimsy at best, you know. But yeah, one of the I think you should check out a guy named Mick West. Mick West he's a retired video game programmer. I believe he has a science background too, but what he likes to do is he likes to recreate a lot of these videos. He likes to debunk a lot of these videos. And he's debunked probably hundreds. And it's all on his YouTube channel. I mean, he goes into extensive research where he recreates computer models, and he even goes in his backyard to recreate scenes and show parallax in videos when a plane flies over his head. He, you know, shows how sun glares can basically make wings of planes completely disappear on digital zoom phones and cameras and stuff like that. And he is a breath of fresh air in a sea of just take it as it is and believe everything, right? You need a guy like Mick West out there saying, actually, that's a balloon. And I found the exact balloon that is on Amazon. Here, let me zoom in. Look, that one says happy birthday, and it kind of looks like what's in the picture in the video, the resolution was better. Like, he's gone through... I love that guy. Mick West, he's doing great work out there, making people look silly. The problem is people buy into so much shit. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've never seen anything. I want it to be real, but be incredible if it was. The problem is I'm the kind of guy who needs evidence if I'm going to believe something. And the evidence, that goes with anything, but the evidence for this, it's muddy. It's not good. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that hearing was like, I listened to a lot of it while I was cooking the other day. Yeah, it was yesterday, right? So last night I listened to a lot of it when I was cooking, and you know, a lot of the people there, I mean, George Knapp, like a lot of the people there have been on the UFO scene for decades, and there's really nothing new, you know. But yeah. Anyway, Kevin, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, they're out there. There's no doubt in my mind, but are they here? I hope so. I absolutely hope so. But as of right now, I can't, you know, I'm not believing anything because the evidence so flimsy and shitty. But yeah, anyway. Leonard, I want to play Dungeons and Dragons, but it sounds too complicated for me to play. Yeah, I've only played it once, I think. Like, the actual tabletop. I'd like to play it too, but I would need to play it with people that are very experienced with it. Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather get my RPG fantasy stuff from a PC game. I don't know, man. But if somebody said, hey, like, the best place to play right now would be at the fire station. If somebody there was like, hey, want to join our Dungeons and Dragons game? I'd be like, hell yes, count me in. I'm going to be here for 24 hours on shift. Of course, when I'm not on calls, I want to play Dungeons and Dragons. Teach me how. But if I was to sit down and like try to teach myself how to play or attempt to play with friends who have never played or are vaguely familiar, I would know. I have zero desire. Yeah. Matt Fern, what's up, man? Greedo, what's the name of / do you have a link? Oh, to that sick lamp you got for your office space. Oh, yeah. Let me do a quick Google. Let's see. Is that password gonna work? Nope. All right. Amazon lamp. Whenever I try to log in on my PC, I can never remember our Amazon password, and I just sent my wife a a login text code from Amazon to her phone. Amazon pole lamp? I don't even remember what I Googled. LED floor lamp. LED floor lamp. So there's a bunch of different ones, man. If you just Google LED corner floor lamp, you'll probably, there's a bunch of them that come up. The one that I got works with Alexa, which is nice.
Nice is the prefecture of the Alpes-Maritimes department in France. The Nice agglomeration extends.
Alexa, stop. I don't know if that's because I have an old model Alexa. We have them in almost every room in the house, and I have like one from 2000. I have like the first generation in my room, in my office. So it doesn't work as well as the other ones. The other ones, like, I think recognize that I'm not talking to it, I'm talking about it, you know? But yeah, if you just Google like LED floor lamp, LED corner floor lamp or something like that, you'll find similar ones. The one that I got is gold, which is nice. I like it. It fits the theme of the room. Okay, Edishine? I think this is it. So, Matt, if you Google Edishine, Edishine, modern LED corner floor lamp. I think this is the exact one that I got in modern gold. It was $70. I think I got it on Prime Day for a little cheaper, I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this is the exact one. Edishine. And it's bright, and you can dim it. You can actually dim it using Alexa. But yeah, it's cool.
This might answer your
Alexa, stop. I need to change it so I can... I'm going to change it to computer. So I say, computer, turn on... I actually have my entire room set up as spaceship. So I come in and say, Alexa, turn on spaceship. And all my lights come on. I need to change it because I think you can change it to computer. So I can say, computer, turn on spaceship. I need to change it. Anyway, What do I think aliens look like? 80s kid from the 90s. That's a fun question. What do I think aliens look like? Well, all right. I'll close this stream out with this little conversation. It's funny to me that like in every single now, I mean, so much sci-fi, all of the aliens have, 2 arms, 2 legs, and kind of look humanoid. You look at the biodiversity on planet Earth, the different types of creatures and animals, the diversity is incredible. I mean, yeah, a lot of mammals have 2 legs, 2 arms, right? 4 legs, whatever. But the biodiversity on Earth is a great example, the only example we have at least, of what the biodiversity would be like elsewhere, right? So everything on planet Earth evolved here, and it was shaped by their environment, its environment. So if you were on another planet with different environmental factors, life would look vastly different than it does here. I mean, you can just look at the vast difference in life on Earth. Visually, at least, I guess. But, I mean, we share DNA. We share, like, so much DNA with everything on the planet. We're related to everything, right? But I don't know, man. Who knows? I mean, an alien could... I don't know. I don't know if our imaginations allow us to envision what an alien from a completely different environment would look like, I don't know if we have that capacity to imagine. We're so used to the life that we know, So I don't know. It all depends on the planet, the environment. I can't even speculate. But it's a fun little, I don't know, it's a fun thing to talk about for sure. Just a bunch of Zoidbergs. Even xenomorphs, man. Even xenomorphs. 2 legs, 2 arms, a tail, a mouth. You know what I mean? One of the most interesting... And we've never seen it, but it was described to us, for those of you who read the book Project Hail Mary. Andy Weir wrote that book, and it's... Oh, man, I don't even want to spoil it. I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it, because a lot of you guys probably haven't read it. If you haven't read Project Hail Mary, read it. It's one of my... It's on a... It's the only book... Well, I have more books behind me, but... It's the book that's like front and center in front of my computer on a shelf. I love it. It's one of my all-time favorite books. I was gonna spoil the book for this conversation. I'm not going to. Go read Project Hail Mary. It's a fun one. It's a great one. Really unique. Very, very inventive. Very creative. I won't spoil anything, Catherine. I apologize. It's fantastic. My wife just read it too. They're turning it into a movie. Yeah. Everybody that I've told about Project Hail Mary to, I tell them not even to read the back of the book. Don't even read the back of the book. Just read it. You don't want anything spoiled. It's just such a... It's so fun. It's such a fun read. So creative. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I actually emailed Andy Weir. His fucking email is right on his website. I emailed him and I just basically said, thank you. I read a lot at the fire station when I go to bed. I lay in bed and I usually read a chapter a night. If I'm not too exhausted. And I blew through Project Hail Mary, and I just sent him a little email, and I said, thank you for Project Hail Mary. You know, I read it when I went to bed at the fire station, and it was just one of my all-time favorite books, blah, 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 blah. And he just shot back, and he just said, thank you. And I was like, I got an email from Andy fucking Weir. That's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. I tried to read his Artemis book. I just could not get into it. My wife read it. She finished reading it, but she said she didn't really care for it. It just doesn't feel like his writing. I don't know. Wasn't my cup of tea. But like The Martian, Andy Weir wrote The Martian. For those of you who are like, what the hell are you talking about? Andy Weir wrote The Martian, which they turned into a movie with Matt Damon. He wrote one of my favorite books of all time called Project Hail Mary, which I was just talking about. And he also wrote Artemis, which I couldn't really get into. Maybe I'll end up finishing it, but I had a really hard time getting into it. But anyway. Yeah, the Sorcerer's Stone. No, it's the Philosopher's Stone in the United States, right? How stupid. How stupid was that, right? Early 2000s, like, religious hysteria. They wouldn't let the book be called Sorcerer's Stone because some adults think that wizards and goblins are real. There's some grown human beings, some adults in the United States and around the world who believe that witches and wizards are real and they will influence their children. And those people are called idiots. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. This was a fun one, man. I haven't done a stream in a while. The last stream that I did was kind of chaos. It was chaos. I cut it short after like 25 minutes. I'm gonna call this my first stream in like a month and a half, 2 months. But let's see. All right, guys. I don't know when the next time that I stream will be. If I do, it'll probably be sometime. Let me see. Let me look at the calendar. Not tomorrow. I work. Not Saturday. Maybe Sunday night. I'm gonna stream. If I don't stream Sunday night, I'll probably stream Tuesday night. But yeah, man. Thanks for hanging out. To those of you who super chatted, thank you for the support this evening. My daughter is going to be back into school in a couple weeks. And I'm planning on getting back into the swing of things with making videos and all that stuff. So, all right, everybody. Have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are on planet Earth. And Caretaker said it for me. I'll catch you all on the flip side. See ya.